Hi there, Helen.
Hey Kim, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us in this interview. I'm so excited to have you here. Would you tell the group a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hello, everybody. This is Helen, and I'm an immigrant from Nigeria. I'm blessed with the gift of motherhood, advanced education, and the freedom to be, do, and serve by the generosity of this country, the United States of America. Trained as a geologist, I spent the first decade of my working life in the oil industry. And since then, I have worked as a teacher for the Los Angeles County Office of Education for over 25 years. I am also a dream support coach dedicated to helping young people discover their pool to become so that they can learn with purpose and experience academic, personal, and career success in accelerated time. And I do this with authentic partnership with parents, family, and community members as an integral part of my practice. So that's a little bit about me.
Beautiful, beautiful, Helen. Thank you. And I think I met you first at an MTSS training, and
Correct.
so glad I did. And I saw your book sitting on your table, and I asked you about it. Would you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write No Less Than Genius?
Interestingly, Kim, two key factors. One, my experience as a teacher of youths in the juvenile court school system. And the second, the meaning that I derived from that experience. So let's look at the first one. And in working with these youths over an extended period of time, I came to realize that we are all born with an innate desire to grow, to learn, and to become more of ourselves, which is what I call Pool to Become in my book. I also learned that this pull to become can induce an extraordinarily strong motivation to engage with learning at all levels. And so, with these two things, I pondered them and I'll share with you the meaning that I derived from this experience. And it is that all youth will succeed if educational practices promote the discovery of this pool to become, and that educators, parents, and coaches can engage youth and sustain the motivation to learn by providing the support and the structure that would empower them to transform this innate pool to become into its physical equivalent. And I also um, thought about the role of leadership and administrative support. That if teachers were given the autonomy in the classroom, most teachers would be more creative and they could have the freedom to build more authentic school family community partnership, the factors that are essential to optimizing learning for all youths.
I love
These
it.
were the reasons that inspired me to write this book.
That's so great. So that was really obvious to me when I read your book, because even though a lot of it is directed at youth, I felt like you were speaking to me as the adult reading it. And so I know I wrote you right away, and I was so excited because I felt like it was about, I could actually apply it for my own growth, my own betterment. So can you talk a little bit about how those here listening to you right now in our conference, that they could use the book for themselves as much as they can for their students?
Most certainly, Kim. The content of my book is deliberate. It guides all readers, whether you're a teacher, an instructional leader, parents, students alike. It guides every reader on a journey designed for them to discover their pull to become, that innate desire to be, which in turn informs their purpose for learning. And this for learning, as I see it and describe it in my book, is that focus that actually induces motivation that's needed to actualize the pull to become. In addition, the book offers some mindful strategies that all readers can utilize to accelerate this journey. They include understanding your true identity, and of course, you have to take inventory of yourself. When you're going through a journey, you have to check and see, what do I have? What do I need? And so that's where recognizing the gap comes in. And then you organize your assets. Then, no one lives in an island. We will all need support as we go through every journey in our life. So the book takes you through how to build support systems. And of course, you got to take care of this part of yourself. You practice your productive and affirmative thinking. And when you apply your assets, you can use that to close the gap between where you are, that exists where you are, and where you want to be. So having said this, I'm also aware that achieving success in any endeavor requires a lot of commitment. So for this reason, it is my firm belief that schools, families, and communities that are actually willing to commit to incorporating these strategies into their educational process will undoubtedly realize that every child is truly no less than genius as they achieve success in every quest, whether it's in the arts, the sciences, career, or even life itself.
Beautiful. The title is so beautiful. I think so many people will just connect to that concept. It's all about potential. You make it so clear. It's all about potential building. And so, I think when I first read, I've gone back and read it more than once. When I first read your book, I don't know that I was like so explicitly making the connection to social emotional learning. And then when I went back, it's like, this is really all about social emotional learning. And so the folks here at our conference, they're learning how, or continuing their journey in integrating social emotional learning and culturally responsive practices and many other things, including arts integration. But would you talk a little bit about social emotional learning and that connection in what you were trying to bring out in the book, and how you think an emphasis on social emotional learning can bring about more equitable learning environments?
Awesome. And so in my experience as a classroom teacher, I will say that it's hardly an overreach to assert that social emotional learning is central to addressing the various forms of inequity in the classroom, in schools, district level, and the society at large. And social emotional learning does so by promoting awareness of cultural diversity and biases. So with this discovery comes an appreciation of diversity as a strength rather than weakness. So when we're empowered by this newfound asset, stakeholders can become more inclined to engage in collaborative endeavors through trusting and respectful school-family community partnership to create equitable learning environments that transforms our schools into safe, healthy, and thriving communities.
I love it. And I love how often you're bringing up, family, school, community partnerships. That's another area where you and I have done some work together. And we're both really passionate about that, because all the reasons you just said. When we bring this work home, we're not just supporting students in one environment, but really now we have this opportunity for them to have the support all throughout their life. And so I love your emphasis there. I think people listening will really appreciate that. And I'm wondering, when I told you about this conference that you're presenting at right now, how did you think about the connection with the arts? So a big focus of our work is integrating the arts so that not just students have exposure to the arts all throughout their day and all throughout every school year, but also to even teach some academic subject areas through the arts so that youth can express themselves through music, through visual arts, etc. But any comment or connection you're making to this work and the arts?
Most certainly, that's a great question. The arts, it's a way, it gives students an opportunity to express themselves in their unique way. And that's what my entire book is talking about. All kids are geniuses, but are they geniuses in every area, in math, science, the arts, the music? No. We are all geniuses in our unique way. And the goal here is to find out where our strengths are, what it is that our natural inclination is pulling us to become. And that's what arts it's all about. It gives us the platform to express ourselves in the best way that we know how. We could do it through poetry, we could do it with writing, drawing, music, dancing. As a math teacher, I've had my students solve a problem. I tell them any way you want. You could do it through diagrams, you could do it through equations, graphing, tabulating, grouping, whatever way that is most comfortable for you to solve this problem, that's what you use. And when I do that, I find that every student is successful. And so this issue of voice and choice is relevant in education. And I think that's what the integration of arts actually brings into the classroom. When every student feels successful because they can express themselves in their unique way, then there's increased self-confidence. There is more self-understanding. There is enhanced communication. There's improved cognition. I have seen that with my students. So beyond creating more successful students, I believe that arts education creates more successful human beings. So it is essential.
I love it. I know everyone's happy to hear you saying that. And it just fills me up to hear you say that so well and to connect it to student voice and choice, which is such an important issue in schools right now. And in a lot of places, still a lot of room for improvement to really let students lead their own education in many ways. And so knowing that our learners here, our adult learners, are looking at incorporating transformational SEL and culturally responsive practices and arts integration, and doing all of that with the goal of supporting the adults who are doing the teaching and the leading, as well as the students and families who are doing the learning and supporting. Can you share, I feel like you already spoke to this so much, but why should folks read the book? How will reading the book make that journey make more sense for them or make it easier?
Thank you, Kim. Another great question. The purpose of my book is to do just that, to invite adults, whether they're educators or community members, to invite them on this journey to create more supportive and effective learning environments where all learners can experience their unique brand of success in accelerated time. I keep mentioning accelerated time because we live in an era where there is information overload. Take for example, you go into Google, just type in anything you want. 1,001 responses will come in. And if you're not savvy, you're going to spend so much time trying to seek information. So when we are able to quickly sieve through what is important to us, then it's quicker for us to achieve our goal, our success. And so that is the issue of purposeful learning. So once that purposeful learning brings in the focus. So to go back to your question, my book takes readers on this journey so that they can create effective learning environments. And how does it do so? Not only by exploring broad SEL themes like discovery, exploration, and transformation, it also goes by providing readers with tools to guide them along the journey. And although arts integration is not explicitly discussed in my book, its undeniable benefits in education is affirmed through the recognition of individual expression, voice, and choice in educational practices. Now, while success in this endeavor to create a more equitable school is achievable, I must caution that the journey is by no means a walk in the park. It may be uncomfortable at times as it requires honest discussions around organizational beliefs and core values. It can also be arduous, filled with humps and bumps along the way. And even so, progress will be made along the way. By all means, I will ask that we celebrate these gains, but keep in mind that maximum gain can only be truly achieved through collaboration and commitment from all stakeholders, parents, teachers, educational leaders, family, and community members.
I love it. Thank you for that. That is beautiful and inspiring. And all of our participants have your books. Thank you for your generosity. You gifted us so many of these resources so that we could share your book with all of these leaders and learners going through this. So Helen, I am so grateful to you for so many reasons and for that generosity. Would you like to share anything else with the group before we say goodbye?
And Kim, I'm very grateful for you too. Since the first time we met, it's been professional support, and support all the way. So I thank you. And I also thank the CEDAW for putting this conference together. I am grateful to all who have allowed me into your heart and home through my book. And my sincere gratitude to LACO for the opportunity to work with the most interesting student groups I will ever know. What I learned from them is the inspiration of this book. And for that, I will always remain grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you.